everyone. Got quite a bit of things to talk about today. So, I have some questions to answer, some updates, lots of stuff. So before we get started, I want to thank everybody for subscribing, tuning in. For those of you that may be new here, I'm Gwen. I'm a 66-year-old woman of transgender experience, currently documenting my transition. So, first off, for those of you that are regular viewers here, you may notice that my hair looks a little different. This is my natural hair. I got it cut Saturday, so I decided that I'm not going to need to wear wigs anymore. So this is exactly what it looks like. It's a little, like I said, what I have, I guess you want to say a little bit of dysphoria about up here because I have rather high forehead, but I've gotten lots of good comments. The way I have it styled, everybody really likes it, so it's kind of helped. Let's see. Other big news is, again, for those of you that are regularly tuning in, you know the issues my daughter has been facing. Well, last Thursday morning, about 2:30 in the morning, she woke me up and says, I just got sick, I just threw up, and I have a fever. Okay, off to emergency we go. Luckily, it's only 12 miles away. And they determined she has a residual infection. It's about 2 centimeters in size, or was about 2 centimeters in size, but about roughly a little under an inch in the same spot as her appendix was. They were contemplating doing surgery to remove it. They were also thinking of inserting a drain tube, but where it is over here is kind of a hard area to get into, so their other option was to possibly go in with a needle and suck it out. Unfortunately, if the infection was too deep in the tissue, they wouldn't be able to use a needle. So they put her back on antibiotics and saline and potassium, and she got a little bit better. Her fever broke Thursday morning. She was, I think, fever-free Friday. They decided to keep her through the weekend. And yesterday the surgeon was supposed to make a decision as to whether he was going to operate. He decided not to. He said, you're doing really good, slowly, but you're doing better, so we're just going to keep you on this regimen for another day. And then this morning, the surgeon consulted with another surgeon. They've opted not to go with surgery. They said that she's doing really, really good. She has, I'm trying to think on this side. Yes, this side, she has a little incision. It's a little tender, so they said, well, we'll give it another day or two, and you're probably going to be good enough to go home. She texted me about noon and said they started her on a transition diet. So she's been, I'm trying to think, she had some pasta, she had cake. She thought that was the cutest thing. She got cake. I got cake. And I'm trying to think, she had some pasta. Oh, she had some mixed vegetables, so they're starting to get her back on solid food. So we're hoping, maybe not tomorrow, but Thursday, that she could be back home, which is really, really awesome. So it's been a crazy 5 days. I think that's all I've got for updates. Now The other thing I was going to talk about is I had some comments. I write these things down, especially at my age. Had some comments from viewers. They were more comments. They were asking questions. So I thought this would be a really, really good opportunity this week to answer those questions. Well, one question was, question number one, how has my employer taken my transition? Good question. My employer, even though they're fully accepting, my employer does not know. Mostly because I may have mentioned it before, maybe I haven't, I'm not sure. The end of April of next year, April 30th, 2024, I will be retiring from work. No more, I'm done. That's it. So, because of that, I thought it just does not make any sense whatsoever to come out to my coworkers, my boss, anybody at work. There are a select few people, probably 4 or 5, that know about me, but they are also part of the LGBTQ community within the building, so they're not going to go around and say, oh, do you know so-and-so? Well, they're actually a trans person. No, they're not going to say that. Because being that they're part of the community, they know that it could put, not that it would, but it could potentially put someone in danger. So no, work does not know that I am transitioning, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, another 4 months, I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. So, the next question number 2. How has my family taken my transition? I have a hair that keeps bugging me here. Actually quite well. It took about a year for my wife to accept, which is fine. I gave her all the time she needed. My kids, all 3 of my kids, fully accepting, fully supportive. My brother, both of my sisters, and my mom, fully supporting, fully accepting. The only one that hasn't been accepting is my wife's mother, which I won't go into detail, is kind of very interesting because she is only about a year, 2 years, I think about a year older than my mom, yet my mom is fully accepting and my mother-in-law is not. So, whatever reasons, but, so, I have to say probably 99% of my family accepts me as I am, and they don't have a problem with it. Very encouraging. Actually, my wife has been very supportive for the different surgeries that I've had. So, question number 3. I have to read what I wrote. Oh, electrolysis. Somebody asked, is electrolysis painful? And there's kind of multiple questions associated with it. Do they use lidocaine? And how long is the session? Without any local anesthesia, yes, electrolysis is painful. It does hurt because they're sticking a needle, little tiny needle, into the hair follicle of your face and burning the hair follicle out. It will never come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I actually have from my HRT doctor a prescription that is lidocaine and a couple of other ingredients that I put on my face about an hour and a half before a session, and then 45 minutes. I do it twice, and then 45 minutes before the session, and it numbs the face. It's lidocaine and a couple of other ingredients, and I don't feel anything from the electrolysis needle. I've also noticed that since I've had my facial surgery, the sides of my face tend to be typically not completely numb, but a little numb. So even if I don't get all the lidocaine or the local up on the sides of the face, I don't really feel the needle, so it's not a big deal. But yes, it can be painful. Everybody's pain tolerance is different. I do have a high pain tolerance, so that's not a big deal. So, and goes along with the next question, is a local use. Yes, in most cases that I know of, and other trans gals that have had electrolysis, we always use a local because it can be very, very painful. The length of a session, question number 4, length of a session. The sessions can be as long as you want or as short as you want. I typically, for my face, is an hour session every 5 to 6 weeks, and I've been doing this for 2 years. The only area left I have, and you probably can't see it, the distance I am from the camera, is a little bit in my upper lip, and that's it. That should probably be addressed in the next probably 2 months. Or maybe even less, because since the rest of my face is clear, she can focus on my lip, and they typically, in an hour session, they will take out about 200 hairs. So, of course, those that may be more endowed with facial hair, it could take a longer period of time. I was never one that had a lot of facial hair. I would typically shave maybe once or twice a week. Ever since I've been a teenager, I never was a very hairy person. Even the rest of my body, by just the way hormones work, it reduces your body hair, but I never had any to begin with. My wife used to joke when we were first married that she could count on one hand how many chest hairs that I had, which I no longer have, thank you, estrogen. So, but anyways, length of session, you can go as short as a half an hour. I have heard of some gals that have gone 2 hours at a session. It's all what you want to do. Cost-wise, question number 5, cost-wise, it depends on your geographic area. I would not recommend going to a dermatologist. They're extremely expensive. I know some people that have gone to a dermatologist. It had nothing to do with transitioning this person because of a hormonal problem. She's a cis woman. Because of a hormonal issue, she wound up with some facial hair, so she wanted it removed, which is fine. She went to a dermatologist. In US dollars, it was $200 for an hour session. The electrolysis salon that I go to, I'm very lucky. The owner of the salon happens to be a trans woman herself. I don't know if she gives breaks or whatever, but I pay $100 US dollars for an hour session, and I think it's well worth the money. So that was it for the questions. I think everyone that had submitted the questions, I think this is really, really great. I love doing this stuff. So let's see, I think that's pretty much about it. So the next time that I will be on will be the day after Christmas. So I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. I love you all. This is the reason I'm here every week. Have a wonderful the rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a safe and stellar weekend. Stay warm. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas. And I will see you all here next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.